What is up, guys? Kyle Smith, Arizona drummer here, and welcome to Behind the Kit episode 5. Can you believe it? We are already 5 episodes in to our new Behind the Kit series, and guys, today is a very special video. In today's episode, I invite one of my best friends in the industry and probably one of the biggest powerhouses in our industry, from Madonna to Justin Timberlake to Christina Aguilera, Janet Jackson, Pink, and so many others. Today's guest is none other than Brian Frasier-Moore. Brian has set the bar for what it means to be a professional drummer in our industry today, from the BET Awards to multiple Super Bowls, the Oscars, all kinds of different events, whether it's live television, live performances, movies, recordings. I mean, he has done it all, and he stays humble, he stays connected. He's a great friend and a great mentor. So guys, I am so excited to showcase one of the best to ever do it, my very good friend, Brian Frasier-Moore. Now, before we get into the episode, I just want to do a quick reminder that we have merch finally. We have Behind the Kit merch, AZD merch, we have hats, shirts, shorts, mugs, stickers, all kinds of stuff available at the store. You can find the store at the link in my description below, as well as in my channel description and in all of my social descriptions. Which, speaking of, if you'd like to support me, please consider becoming a member of my Patreon. For just $5 a month, you can join at the snare drum level, where you get all kinds of goodies like early access to videos, behind the scenes, unedited versions, all kinds of really great stuff. And then if you upgrade to $10 a month to the drum set level, you get all of that plus personalized name shoutouts, one-on-one conversations, phone calls, Q&As, lessons, all kinds of goodies. So please consider picking up some merch and repping the Arizona Drummer brand and Behind the Kit, as well as joining to become a member on Patreon. Now, if you've already picked up your merch, if you've already joined and are a member on our Patreon, then continue to support the channel by liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing, following, all of the goodies to help us grow and continue to invest back into the channel and make awesome videos like this just for you. Now, I'm done talking, so with that being said, let's jump into this interview and hear from my good friend, Brian Frasier-Moore. Let's go. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the channel. This is Kyle Smith, Arizona drummer here, and I am so excited. I have Brian Frasier-Moore here. Brian, welcome to the channel.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, Brian, we were just kind of talking about this, but you and I have been in touch now since about 2020. We met at the NAMM show back in 2020 when you were showing off the new snare drum.
Yes.
But this is our first time sitting down and having like a long form conversation. We've talked a couple times, through messages, whatever the case is, but honestly, this is an honor for me. I've considered you somebody who's become a friend over the past few years, and you've played a massive role in shaping my vision for where I want to go as a drummer. And so today, I'm just really excited. We're going to talk about not just your incredible resume, which again, I can rattle it off of just about any pop artist, rap artist, R&B artist, anybody out there. You've pretty much either filled in or played with them, but most recently with Pink. But also, I'm going to talk about your mindset, your journey, and I think what it takes to build a legacy like yours, because that's truly what it is. It's a legacy, what you've kind of built over your career. And with like any legacy, though, it starts with an origin. And so I want to go back and just kind of understand what first brought you to drums and kind of got you into the instrument.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me. And I consider you a friend as well, too. So thank you for having me on. Wow, just to hear that, you always want to build a legacy. You're not really sure if you're doing it right. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm as transparent as you can get, so hopefully people can enjoy this. But it all started as a kid, man. My mother and father, bro. Like all of us, specifically drummers. We're kids and we want to bang, and I love this, and I always tell a story. I tell my mother that she started all of this. It's her fault because because I was just a kid, bro. Playing in church, and playing situations that were probably meant for adults, but as a kid, but then it was that one aha moment, I guess, as they say, when my mother took me to the first concert in Philadelphia at the Spectrum. This before it was Wachovia Center. It was at the Spectrum, and it was to see Amy Grant. That was my first in concert, and that really changed my life. Like, I saw drumming in an aspect that I didn't see before, and it's the stage, and the stage opens up, this big massive drum set. I'm like, what? So I think if we're talking about the origin of it, of course, growing up in church and all of that was cool, and was a training ground that I cherish. But that one aha moment, as far as it being a profession and changing it, had to be at that concert.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had a similar background. My mom, well, first, my uncle Saul, he played guitar. He's been playing guitar for, gosh, like 60 years. And so he was like, hey, try guitar. And I'm like, this does not work with me. Like, I can't do that. But my mom would see me tapping on, hearing different songs, whatever the case is, tapping. And she's like, you should really try drums. And I'm like, again, young kid, I'm like, yes, let me have things I can beat up with drumsticks and have fun. And it was immediate, and it's funny, a little bit of a different style of music, but Slipknot's self-titled album was like the first thing that made me go, oh my gosh, like anything is possible. He's using both feet, both hands, and it's groovy, but it's also heavy. And then actually my first real concert, speaking about big drums, it was Dream Theater with Mike Portnoy and Megadeth. And I think Sean Drover was the drummer at the time. So, I mean, just these big, gigantic drum sets, the lights, everything. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think I have to do this now.
That's great. What an amazing first concert.
Yeah, right? But I do have to ask you, so you mentioned, there's the passion behind it, there's the practice, there's the learning, but then there's the moment where you go, okay, whether I want this to be my career or, hey, this could be my career, it's possible. Is there a moment that comes to mind for you where you were like, okay, I think I can really do this. I think I can make this my career.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that people have heard the story, so I'll skip along to the important parts. Playing with artists, Johnny Croom. Shout out to Johnny Croom for putting me on my first professional gig. It opened my mind up. I saw Gerald Hayward playing with this group we was opening with. I was like, whoa, what is he playing? Look at that drum set. All of that stuff. Fast forward, I'm on tour. I'm getting calls. Usher, where I just go crazy, and he likes crazy drums, and then meeting Ron Fair when Christina Aguilera, and he didn't like crazy drums. He wanted more professional. Okay, there's that switch. Okay, then I'm getting calls, and I'm like, oh, I'm having fun, and I'm spending money like crazy, and you go through all of that, and then there was a moment where maybe 7-8 years down the line, I'm like, man, wait a minute, I think this could be a profession. This could be, and I'm going to tell you, bro, fast forward, Janet, all of this stuff, right? There was a moment where Dom Familaro, right? Mm-hmm. This is crazy, man. It gives me chills. So I did a clinic with Dom Familaro, and I did a clinic, it was Thomas Lang, Dom Familaro, and, God, who else was it? And Omar Hakim. The greats, right? What am I doing here? Okay. So I'm doing, and I went first. And at that particular time, on my clinics, I would have 2 drum sets because I would invite people up. Let's play together. The kids come up, whatever, blah, blah. I did my thing. They did their thing. They killed it and completely. And then afterwards, I remember being in the dressing room. They were all there. And Dom said to me in his most Italian, heartfelt, man, I miss that guy, voice. He says, I love what you're doing. He says, Brian, I love what you're doing. I love it, what you're doing. He says, but when you're really ready to do it, I'm here for you. And I was like, thank you? What
does that mean?
Yeah, what does that mean? Yeah. And so I asked, what did that mean? And he broke it down to me, bro. Changed. This birthed BFM World. This very moment. Because all before then, I was just playing gigs and, being seen and all that. But when Dom sat down and told me about how many books he had, how many clients and students he had around the world, how many practice books, bro, he was a walking Fortune 500 company, bro, just on his own. And that is the moment where it changed my whole perspective. This thing wasn't really just about me. This thing was about how many people I can help and how many, not keeping it to myself, but listen, this is what I learned. Check this out. Or hey, I see what you're doing. Hey, watch out for this in contracts. Or, hey, endorsements. This is really what they think. This is where your real value comes from. So that moment, that was the aha moment for BFM World, and that's when my whole career changed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, rest in peace to Dom. And I know it's still stings. But honestly, I would consider you one of my mentors. So, when I started playing drums, 1999, I want to say, and I did it consistently till about 2012, and I had my daughter, and so kind of didn't necessarily put the sticks away, but put the dream away, for 10, 12 years, and focused on her, building wealth, buying a home, all that stuff. And when I came back in 2020, very different industry, very different, landscape without a doubt. And I happened to start back right when COVID hit too, which was perfect timing. But what I do remember is you were one of the first people to acknowledge the videos I was doing and to comment on them. I remember I did a Justin Timberlake, oh my gosh, I can't stop this feeling, I think, cover, and this is now almost 6 years ago. And you liked it, you shared it, and what's important about that is, like, to your point, you're paying it forward. You're saying, hey, we're a community. How can we work together? And, I do think that your personality, your professionalism, and who you are as a person speaks to your brand. And what I've always gotten from you is that mentorship relationship of, like, if I have a problem, and it's been a couple times over the years, I'll reach out to you and say, hey, what do you think about this? And you've given me advice, you've given me guidance. And to your point, like, that's that's the next layer up. Like, again, we can all go out and play drums and have a good time, but the fact that you're paying it forward, that's actually kind of what created this interview series is, I've learned a lot in my almost 30 years playing drums, but I want to give access to some of the professionals, the pros, the guys out there that are doing it, that know what it takes to get the gig, and then I think sometimes even more importantly, what it takes to keep it. And so that's a little bit of where this came from, is how can I pay it forward, share my passion? And so to me, I'm like, you're what started, I don't have it in front of me right now, but the AZD, the logo, and that idea of, like, you need to be a brand, you need to diversify as much as you can, but also be an advocate for growth and change in the community itself. And, it's great to hear that Dom kind of drove that for you, but, what else do you think it is just about you inherently that makes you think about how can I help the next generation? Because I hear stories all the time about you lifting guys up, saying, hey, I can't do this gig. Do you want to fill in and do it? Or whatever it is. And you're always creating opportunities for us in the industry. And so I feel like that's inherent to you as well, not just that conversation.
Yes, and I agree. Dom was the spark that put it there, and a hell of a spark. But this has always been me, even before that. I've always had the mentality of, listen, you can hog it, and hold it to yourself all day. It's great. It's going to stay right there. But if you can help someone, they will never forget that. So all of the accolades that you look for in your ego-filled mind to hog it, listen, you'll get that and more if you give it. I know it's crazy. People don't think of it like that. But if you help somebody, like they're gonna spread the word. Hey, Brian helped me on that. And that's all you want if you're in the ego-filled mind. You just want somebody to recognize you. So why not be just cool with it while you're helping someone? You still get what you want out of it. That's not why I do it. I genuinely have a passion, want to see people win. I've had a great career that I've never could have put together. It was God himself that blessed me to be in this position. And I realized that. I grew up in church, and that's my belief, and I'm not putting that on everyone, but that's my personal belief. And what good is it to have all of these talents and just keep it to yourself? Like, give it to the world. Make the industry better. I'm an advocate for the industry. I want the industry to change. I want people to get their full value. So this is me. This is me. If I can help this guy, if I can put him on that, if I can have him experience something so he can buy a house for him and his new wife, or or get your credit fixed so that you can start some type of business. My point that I'm making is, I guess I lived long enough in this industry to believe and realize that it is a stepping stone. It's our passion. It's what we love to do. We would do it for free if it was the right situation. Our heart is all in it. But once you cross that line of wanting to be in the business of it, you have to change as well. So this is the business of it. You have to excel. You have to give. You have to spread your brand in a positive way. And it's just, I'm addicted to it now, bro. It's just who I am. I believe in it.
It's funny because you just, it might have been today or yesterday, just posted something about, like, you could be the most talented drummer in the world, but if you have a bad attitude, again, you're not keeping the gig, you're not getting the gig in the first place. And it's funny how much, because I'll hear it in different ways, whether it's you need to be able to hang or you need to be a cool guy or whatever. You hear the kind of slang terms, but really at the end of the day, it's my kind of slogan, I guess, for what I'm doing is you should leave with professionalism, maturity, and grace. If you have those three things, you can, and then obviously do that consistently, but if you have those three things, you can pretty much do anything you want to do because you are coming from a place of, I am not the best person in the world. I know I'm not the best drummer. I know I'm not the best this, or that, but I want to learn. I want to work with others. I want to grow something and build something bigger than myself. And like, when you think about that, so like, obviously you've played with, and I have a list here just because I didn't want to miss anybody, but I'm sure I will. But just to name the top, you played with Justin Timberlake, Pink, Madonna, Janet, Jackson, Usher, all these guys, all these gals that are, anybody looking at that list would be like, oh my gosh, this one guy did this. But what's great about that is, like, even over the years, but even talking to you now, like, you're not like, excuse my language, but I'm the shit. You're like, I am just here to serve and to do what I can do for the community, for the artist. But I do have to say, we're talking about getting gigs, keeping gigs, staying professional. What's your mindset before you walk on stage or go into rehearsal or whatever, or get the gig, when you're going to support a global icon like one of those we just talked about?
That's interesting. I'll put it in a real time form, right? Okay. So I got a call to audition for Pink. Went to the audition. First of all, you have to understand that okay, I'm a drummer, right? But I'm a drummer in a human world. So you still have to be human. You still have to be nice and pleasant. You still have to show the personality that makes people want to work with you. So I walked in, spoke to every person in the room, text everything. Hey, what's up? My name's Brian. Hey, what's my name? Brian. Because this is my energy. I want people to feel my energies. So I play, get the gig, get a call. Bow. Brian, would you like the gig? Bow. Okay. Can I get 24 hours? In business world, you need 24 hours, 48 hours. First thing I did was call Mark Schulman. I called Mark because I knew that Mark had been on Pink for a long time. And so my integrity is more important than anything. That was probably one of the biggest calls in my career. And I've seen this play out plenty of times to where people are like, yes, I'll take it. It was like, bro, wait a minute. Aren't we supposed to be a community? We're community musicians and drummers. So I called him, told him, we talked. He gave me his blessing. He said, and I respect you so much for calling. Bow. So that's off my plate. Yes, I will take the gig. Bow. Immediately, I downloaded her whole discography of music. Every single thing, every concert, everything. I went into research mode, study mode. I didn't sit here and be like, oh, I'm going to go in here and murder this. No, I need to research. I need to see what he's used to. I need to see what they're used to. I want to fit into this peg. So that was that. Learned everything. They sent me the songs, learned the whole show, went in the studio, practiced the whole show. I rehearsed before I got to rehearsal, which is something that I believe in. And then, so that is kind of my whole mode of when I get a call. Same with Janet, download the whole, everything she got. Same with Madonna. Download every song, every concert. That is how I approach these gigs because I believe it's beneficial. When you get into rehearsal and Madonna says, I want to do this song. And it's like, what song is that? You know what I'm saying? I'm still in my professionalism mode. My professionalism mode is not just the performance aspect, but it's the wealth of knowledge that you get by hiring. It's the professionalism you get by hiring. It's the rack designs. It's the drums. It's the endorsements. It's the personality. It's the retention. It's the preparedness. It's all of these things. I'm self-contained for cases. Production. Here you go. I'm a great guy. I got all my, excuse my language, shit in order. All right, you can come pick. It's everything. It's every single thing. How can I be a self-proclaimed great drummer and don't have all of these areas put together? So just to give you a little insight, all of that stuff comes into play when I get a call from any type of artist. Big, small, doesn't matter.
A common theme through all these interviews is just that. Like, there are dozens of drummers out there, more than that can play incredibly well. You know, they can play the time, they have great feel, groove, whatever it is, but it's the whole package. It's the experience, you mentioned retention, the preparation, the kind of theme that I should probably change this interview series to is do the work. Because at the end of the day, if you're not willing to do the work, get in there, whether it's fixing or working on something that you're deficient in, or again, learning a catalog of music and getting good at that, the retention. You mentioned that's the first time somebody's mentioned that, and I think it's really important because you need to be able to retain the music and to understand what you're about to play, and especially with like Pink, which is what, an hour and a half show, 2 hour show, something like that?
2 hour show. 2
hour show. Like that's it's the music, it's the click, it's the especially when you're doing hybrid with electronic and acoustic, you got to get patch switches, and then on top of that, the choreography. I mean, just the whole show. Like, and I'm sure there's a little bit of wiggle room, but for the most part, it's probably pretty dialed in. So that retention part is really, really crucial. What do you think it was for you that helped you develop that skill? Because I think that is something that I shouldn't say a lot of drummers, but some folks do take for granted.
I'll show you. Okay. You see these are composition books. That's BET Awards 2025. That's my album. That's what is this? Kennedy Center Honors. That is Ed Sheeran, BET Awards 2021. This is JT, Masked Singer. This is Verses and Flow TV show 2016. Just to show you how far I go back. Bro, when I'm in rehearsal, I write everything out. This is Black Cat, Janet Jackson.
That is awesome.
Right? So when I do this before I get to rehearsal. So when I'm in rehearsal, I'm rehearsing and they're recording rehearsal. So when I listen back, I'm listening back to the correct thing instead of my mistakes. So that helps. It's like, it's repetition. When you're playing the right thing over and over again, it just becomes a part of your soul until you don't need these books anymore. You can throw them over your shoulder. They're out of there. I remember it because I can see it on the paper. 8 bars, a break here. So that helps me with if there's no charts, official charts, and when we get to television shows where there are charts, then I'm looking at the chart, I'm rehearsing with the chart, I'm making notes for the chart, I sleep with the chart, I make breakfast with the charts. You know, we go out to get the car wine. It's everything so that I can be the best I can. So when you start breaking it down like that this 8 bars is a verse, right? And something happens in this first 8 bar, you're aware. Something's going to happen in this first 8 bars. What is it? Oh, a break at bar 4, beat 2. Oh, yeah, I knew it was something. So that helps me with my retention till now. I've been doing it so much to my head just goes to a composition book. If someone's like, yeah, we're just going to change the first part and the first verse. I'm writing it down. Cool, let's go. That to everyone out there, musicians out there, this is all musicians, all vocalists, singers, everybody. Retention is the best way to show that you are valuable and that you are. Changes happen in rehearsal as fast as you can adapt to it. Trust me, I've heard plenty of MDs get frustrated waiting for someone to remember their parts.
Absolutely. And it's funny, I don't have it in front of me, but right here there's like a big closet, and inside that closet I have like 5 or 6 composition notebooks with my charts on them, so it's the same thing. And yours are a little bit more professional. Mine say like Metallica guitar riff, but just something to.
But that's the beautiful thing about it. It's like it's you. So whatever grabs you and makes you retain it, that's the beauty of it. It's the magic.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I was coming up, I used to think doing covers of music was silly. You want to do your own original stuff, like that's where it's at. And all the bands I was in was the super crazy, complex metal stuff, just because I thought that was what it was. Again, go back to a little bit of the ego stuff. I'm like, I got to show off. And it's funny, since coming back and doing the drum cover stuff, honestly, playing other people's songs, other people's parts, learning how they're structured, it has made me such a better player of just my timing, my feel, my groove, my creativity. Like, I can only imagine even for yourself, because you get to walk the line a little bit of, you mentioned on Usher, like come in and just have fun with it. Obviously play on time, but have fun. And then Christina Aguilera, we're playing to the record. Let's keep it tight and focused. And I'm sure everything in between. So like, how do you kind of keep the balance between, I'm sure that the MD does some of it, but how do you kind of keep the balance between staying true to your voice, your passion on the instrument, while also, again, making sure that you're honoring the song and honoring the artist?
That's a great question. I call this the sauce, right? Because here it is, you're faced with it. Some people like, hey, this is the song we've spent 4 months creating this masterpiece. Some people feel like, I want you to become this masterpiece. Some people say, I want you to become the masterpiece, but we're playing it live. It needs to breathe. So you have to find that sauce that fuses both of those together. So I have a method where I'm actually becoming what the record is. 100%, no getting around it. You have to become the spirit of what that record is. Control, whatever it is, like Pink, whatever it is, you have to become that. Now, the sauce says finding the intelligent places to insert yourself. Intelligent places to insert yourself. So this requires, and this is stuff that I go through in my video analysis program. It's really a good program because we get to, you get to record yourself, and then we go back and we analyze it section by section, like in a positive way. It's such a great thing, right? Okay, so here's the thing. So if I'm playing, let's see, I can't believe I can't think of a Pink song. Let's see, da 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 sometime, boom, the girl's a rock star, boom, got you find you, and I believe you tonight, right? Lead you tonight. Intelligence doesn't say lead. Intelligence says there's a rhythm. There's the dominant rhythm. What's the dominant rhythm? The artist. The artist. Mm-hmm. What is her rhythm? Lead to not. Oh, so if I'm intelligent, I'm going to rearrange my field to support the dom. If I want to do something there, if I don't want to get yelled at, if I don't want the MD looking at me, and if I don't want the artist saying, what the hell is that, right? Then I'm going to put my field toward being the beat, so now this is intelligent because I am becoming the rhythms. I'm becoming the spirit. I'm becoming everything in that song. So this is my sauce without giving everything away. I fuse what's happening and all of my feels. Sidebar, it keeps your feels fresh because you keep reinventing yourself. Not the same licks that you practice in your basement, but you gotta change them a little bit because I never thought about this rhythm right here. So that is kind of a sauce. Take the authenticity of the original record, take the spirit of everything moving, a vocal, a bass line, a synth line, a baby crying, a dog barking, whatever it is, right?
Yep.
And keep yourself fresh and conform those feels into that. Now, when you do that, or if I do that with Pink, she might turn around and be like, yeah, why? It supports what she's doing instead of battling. And the audience don't have to choose whether I want to listen to the artist or the drummer play at this point, if that makes sense.
100%. And I think that, one of the things that Anthony Gazelle and I were talking about was, one, getting good at listening. Like, first and foremost, obviously you need to know the song, know the parts, of course, but listening not just for how the sections go and the parts, but how they feel, and making sure that you complement that feel. Like, the artist needs to feel absolutely comfortable first and foremost. Like, if you play to the record, they know the record, they're going to feel comfortable. If you, like you just mentioned, add some sauce to it, they're going to go, that feels good, because it adds to I think you said the spirit of the song, which I think is so important. A lot of the times, and I'm doing a lot of YouTube stuff, so I'm like, I got to be flashy because people are watching me on, play drums, and I'll even joke, I'm like, I know I overplayed this song, whatever it is, but I'm like, but it matches the feel of the song. I might throw double bass in a Pink song, and on the record, it would be, if live, it would be completely distracting, it would be awful, but on recording, it's like, okay, I kind of get it because it feels right. But when you're live and you're with the artist, again, you just want to make sure that the spirit of the song is captured, the artist feels comfortable. And then that goes back to the maturity part of it, like that restraint part of it, of like, I want to do a crazy 16th note, fill on all the drums and all this. It's like, but this isn't your show. Like, it's not about you, and I think that's another thing that, especially in the day and age where there is a lot of social media players, and they are out there and they are making a name for themselves, they're getting wealthy and reaching these great milestones, and all the power to them, because that's awesome that they put the craft in, but that does get missed a little bit in the sense of, it's not about us. We're here to serve the music, not even almost the artist. We're here to serve the music and the audience member, the listener, and make sure that they leave. And I think you'll agree with this because you've played to so many people who are so passionate about the artists you've played with, but you're a piece of a puzzle, you're a piece of the conduit that helps the audience member connect emotionally with whatever experience they have with that song and that artist. And I think that is the absolute top responsibility of a drummer, a musician in any way, right? Is you do not want to break that connection between the artist and the audience member. And I think I learned that myself, with this band. I was in that band that I was touring with there for a while. I went to Europe, and it was really great. We did all that stuff. I left to kind of focus more on this, but that band was very singer focused. And again, I come from metal where everybody's screaming and being silly, but and I'm playing along, and it was the first time I got real constructive feedback of like, hey, I can't breathe. I need you to slow down a little bit, and I can't get to the sections I need to get to, and the fans aren't really as engaged. And I'm like, oh, okay. And especially because I'm sure that for the stuff you're doing, it's probably all to a click, all to ears and a mix and things like that. This band did not want to be on a click. So it was an interesting challenge to, okay, I'm excited, I'm having a good time, but I have to keep us back. And even though I want to do these crazy fills and it's music that would warrant it, it's heavy metal and all that stuff, I'm like, no. My job is to make sure that singer connects with those however many people it is. Yeah. And that was, right when I came back in 2020, and I was like, this is the ultimate lesson. It is, we are here to serve the audience. And whoever that artist is, right? And so I'm just curious, we talked a little bit about how you prep for it, but is there still a moment on stage for you, or even behind the scenes, whatever it is, that you think about and it still gives you chills, or like, I cannot believe I got to do this?
Yes, there's quite a few. I mean, honestly, the first Super Bowl I did with Madonna was, I had no idea what that feeling was. I had no idea what to do, what not to do at that particular time. So that, still thinking about the first one, still gives me chills. It's just like this little old kid from Philly who used to be in church all the time, to be able to have that experience, playing the Kennedy Center honors. That's like playing the Oscars in the orchestra, the band, things like that. Like they're like surreal, bro. And it's like, I don't understand how people can be arrogant about those things, because honestly, if you were to keep it honest, you've never been in those positions for, to be able to act arrogant. It's just a blessing, man. I'm just thankful and for the opportunities and the people that believed in me, and even thankful to myself for not giving up or not, folding. Or we all too often we thank other people, but we don't really thank ourselves. We're the ones going through the mental part of the emotional part, financial part of it. So it's like there are so many moments, man. I mean, like playing with Babyface, like being in the studio with Babyface and seeing how he writes, him and Daryl, how they write. That was surreal. It's just been so many. I'm super thankful.
And I'll say this, and again, I'm trying not to throw too much cheesy at you, but when I say that you are somebody I look up to as a mentor, not only because you've been there to support me, but also it's because of the way you carry yourself in these situations, but also the career that I want for myself. Yeah, so you've done TV shows, movies. I mean, again, we're going to talk about the BET Awards and the Super Bowl as well, but like that is kind of where I see myself in the future, is in the sense of maybe not what they are, but what they represent, as far as being able to give back at that level and to perform at that level and engage with that many fans, in the sense of, again, that same passion. I feed off that passion. The fact that there are people out there that still love music and want to be part of it and come out and see it and express it with you. And that, I mean, I'm sure you can speak to this better than I can. The biggest crowd I've played in front of is probably 20,000 people. I can imagine you're just
a multiplier. But that feeling.
But that feeling you get of these people, connecting with you on an emotional basis, it's unreal. So I have to ask you, Super Bowl, you've done a couple of them now. We were just on the BET Awards, last week, which I saw the video. It was just phenomenal, as always. But what is that? One, how are those things different? Because I have to imagine they're dramatically different. And maybe not, but how are they similar?
It's crazy because all of those things they still require the same thing, right? But they're different in a way, right? They still require you to research and study. The execution that's expected is insane, right? The amount of nerves that you have to control when the lights go down and you realize that it's about to happen, right? The amount of discipline that you have, because we're drummers, our thing is timekeeping. But how can I keep this time steady, bro? There's 20,000, 50,000. How can you do this? This is impossible, right? So all of those things are required, whether it's a BET Award show or whether it's a Super Bowl or whether it's playing with Pink at Hyde Park and it's 75,000 people. It doesn't matter. All of those things are required, but then they are different. Like BET, I'm gonna tell you the most nerve-wracking thing about BET Awards is because the audience is bigger than any live audience that you can play to. You just don't see that many people, but it's going to travel. Millions and millions of people watching, right? The most nerve-wracking part is you've rehearsed, you've prepared, you got your nerves together, but this is live. There is no taking it back. Whatever happens here, happens. And there's nothing you can do about it once it's out there. That
Talk about chills, right?
Yeah. But
and you're playing in a full suit, like
that. I mean, that alone's got to be, one, hot, but then two, like, just, I mean, again, kudos to you.
I find a comfort level in that. This is going to be funny because that was me as a kid playing in church.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So to your point, you're like, this is like going back home.
Like going back to church. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you still go back to, whether it's the church you grew up in or any churches around, still play?
Yeah, I still go to churches, especially out here in California. I'll come in and just sit in the audience and just enjoy it and get the word and check out the musicians. I always love when I go to churches and people are looking, they're like, nah. And then I go up to them afterwards because I'm all about the positivity. The interesting part going to churches is that after I'm all about uplifting. So I'm sitting and I'm listening to the guys. I'm like, oh, that was cold. That was crazy. I love that. And then I'll go up to them afterwards and I'll say, man, y'all sound really good. Like, y'all sound incredible. Like, I like what you was doing, bass man. Like, I like that 5-3. Like, I'm involved because, like, I don't know. Maybe they do know me, maybe they don't. But if I was playing in church and Vinny walked into church and sat down and came to me and said, incredible. Actually, I did this gig for a Church of Scientology a while ago. It was in Clearwater, Florida, and I played at their convention. And I'm playing the drums. I'm playing, we're playing with the band, and I had heard that Chick Corea, God bless his soul, I heard that Chick Corea was one of the musical directors there, but I hadn't seen him. And after the concert was over, I heard this guy. He's like, "Man, the band sounded great, man." I looked up. I was like, "Oh shit, that's Chick Corea." He's like, "Drummer man, sound great," and I was like,
"Yeah,
okay, life is over."
Yeah, like, I'm good.
When there's someone that you look up to that gives you, that's why we can't be arrogant. We can't. We can't son other musicians. We can't think that they're better. We got a bigger duty to do. We have to encourage them and be behind them. So, yeah.
And I can speak to experience on that. When we were at NAMM, you had just come off the stage. You guys were jamming along and again, showing off the new snare drum. And I think it might have been one of the first Maple Gum Masters kits that was up there too. You hung out with all of us for like as long as you could, because obviously there's other stuff going on. But like it was one of the cooler experiences, which was one of the first reasons I reached out after. And I'm like, you just don't get that type of interaction or relationship with someone at your level, but then also just somebody with the attitude that you have, which is just, you're humble, you're grateful, but also like I think you do recognize that you've put in a ton of work to get to where you're at, and now you're like, how can I pay it forward? And I think that's just really great. For gear, you'd mentioned something I thought was really interesting. You're like, I have all my cases. I'm cased up. I'm ready to go. My drums are ready to go, tuned, ready. I'm good. So, in your opinion, what role does the gear play in kind of getting those gigs and keeping those gigs?
Oh man, it's a huge part. First of all, if you're a drummer, you have to ask yourself, what does that mean? If I'm a drummer, and this spans the different genres, if we talk about films, commercials, recordings, live, studio, like if I want to be a drummer, I just want to be a drummer. You don't have to ask me. I'm not a groove drummer. I'm not a pop drummer. I'm a drummer of whatever you need, what you need. Yeah. And that comes from research. The gear has to speak to that too. Like, I'm a drummer, I'm self-contained. What you need? Well, we were thinking about a pink drum set with such, not a problem. What production comes to. Hey, so listen, do you have all your cases and all that? Yes, I do. I do have all my cases. They're at this address. This is where you can pick them up. But here's the thing. If you have that outlook, if people have that outlook on you, guess what? That value that you're always trying to, man, the money should be this. I should be getting paid this. Why? Because you're good.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. So is this guy, that guy, like.
Bro, I hate to tell you, listen, I'm here for encouragement, but listen, being good is not a perk. That is a requirement. You have to be good to be in these positions. So now what? Oh, I'm good. Listen, I'm good. I can get my rack done. I can have my cases ready. If the drums break, I'm in good standings with my companies. If anything breaks, I can do this, I can do this. I'm self-contained. Oh, that equals this.
Yeah.
So that is important. Your gear is your tool. And if you want to be good, you got to know your gear, have your gear, being self-contained. Look, bro, don't tell me you're a drummer and you don't know how to program this Roland SPDX.
That's right.
Understand? Like, you have to be, that's like a piano player saying, hey, no, I'm a piano player, but I don't know what these strings are inside under this thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
You have to know your instrument. So it comes into play with your professionalism. It comes into play with your value. It comes into play with beating out your competition. Well, this this guy is good, but God, the production, we're going to have to pay this amount of money for the length of the tour because he doesn't have it. Not me.
Yeah.
Not me. You don't have to pay anything. Just pay me.
Yeah, yeah. Pay for, because I'm bringing it, right? That's a little bit of experience, right? I'm bringing all the talent, experience. I've done all this stuff a million times, but like to your point, inside this room, I got a live kit, in cases, tuned, ready to go.
Right.
This kit is in the studio, tuned, ready to go. So it's like, to your point, that's, I have a whole second set cymbals packed ready. So that way, hardware, all of it. So if somebody calls me today, I need you to play tonight, I'm ready. I can go today. And to your point, that's part of the preparation. But also, like, I'll tell you a quick story. So I auditioned to join Daughtry when they were looking for new drummers, and I got really close. I ended up becoming really good friends with all those guys, which is awesome. They were just here, so I went and hung out with them and Anthony's. That's how we kind of got to know each other. But I think, and they didn't tell me this, but I try to be self-aware. I think part of the reason I didn't get the gig is there's a couple songs where they use a Roland SPD-SX pad, and I'm hearing the song. I'm like, I don't have one. So I'm just going to try to make it work on the audition because they needed it, soon. So I'm like, I'd rather do it and not have an excuse. So I do the audition, I send it out. I'm really proud of what we did. But immediately after that, you can bet, I bought an SPD-SX. It's sitting right behind me, and I just went to school. How do I program this? How do I use it? How do I put samples in? How do I take samples out? How do I record? Whether it's MIDI or quarter inch, I don't care. I need to know top to bottom. Part of me, my wife gives me crap about this. She tells me I'm a gear nerd because I know the difference between the drum heads, like the different plies and the coding. Again, we could spend hours on that, but I think it's important. Like, I know what my sound is, and I know how to get to it. It doesn't matter what kid and I used to joke about this too. I probably played, I know, dozens of shows across the world. And I think I played on my own drums like 3 times because you're renting and you're moving from one thing to the next, and you need to know how to get to your sound. Like, that's what they're hiring you for. Is I can get these drums tuned, I can get them set up and torn down quickly. I know what cymbals are needed, heads are needed. I know what samples are needed. Don't worry about me. Like, I'm good over here. And so I think that that might just tie into the next question about navigating the industry, but like, because you've sustained a decades-long career. You've been doing this for, again, the biggest acts in the world. What do you think has been your key to longevity in the business? Because I think that's one thing that's hard to keep it once you've got it.
One of the things, probably the top thing is personality and demeanor, 100%. I find that in this industry, if you're in the industry of greats and you come in putting all your money on being great, you're just another great person amongst greats. It doesn't bang that big, right? So, yeah. But if you're great and you're cool and you're laid back and you don't have any problems, you don't cause any problems, you don't have this egotistical, everyone will love you because you're great at what you do and you're cool. I've heard MDs say, I'll take the guy that's not that good, but he has a great personality, over the guy that thinks and knows he's good and acts like a jerk. What does that tell you?
Yeah.
That is the one thing I feel like that allowed me these opportunities. Also, the preparation. Also, the authenticity we talked about. Also, the intelligent feels. Also, targeting musical directors.
Yes.
My whole career, that has been my target. I've never been one to really try to buddy it up with the artist or, do that thing. I've targeted musical directors and saw why does Ricky Minor call Teddy so much? Why does Adam call Chris Johnson or Mike B? Why does this person? Why? Let me research. Oh, I see what he likes. Okay, I get it. So it's really about researching that game, just like the basketball players do. Just like you watch films of the greats. Why is his defense so good? Oh, look at his left foot. Look, he leads off with it. It's the same type of thing. So I think that targeting musical directors, because they're always going to be soliciting work, soliciting positions. So if I can be what he likes and he likes and he likes and he likes out of these four, that could span off to maybe 30, 40 opportunities just in those four. So it's been a combination of those things throughout my career. And the top thing is like really God just leading my path, bro. Like it's just I couldn't have did it. I couldn't have did it like this on my own. It just wasn't me at all. So
Kind of a little bit of a different path than what we've been talking about, but I think another really important lesson for us drummers is sometimes you have to put yourself first. And so when the gig's not the right gig, you have to know when to say no. To your point earlier, people are like, yes, give it to me because they're so excited, but maybe it's not the right gig for them. And so have you ever turned down a gig? We don't have to talk about who it was, but if so, why did you turn it down, and what lesson did it teach you when you had to say no?
I'm going to be honest with you. It took me a little while to get to that point because I was just hungry for levels. I wanted to play here. I wanted to be known here. I wanted the companies to see me. But then there came a time where a few opportunities came across the table, and I just felt like it was a dead end, or I wanted my career to excel, and I felt like this was a step down, or maybe there was. I had a recent situation with an artist where I had to step away, but it was because of my integrity to my brother.
Gotcha.
Someone that I love, and this was going to cause friction.
Yeah.
And I said, no.
Not worth it.
It's not worth it. And, at that particular time, I'm going to be honest with you. After I made the decision, I was like, Brian, how stupid can you be? Like, that was dumb. That was stupid. But the amount of blessings and things that came to me after that, oh my God. If I had went and did it, I would have missed all of this. So sometimes I know it's hard, and I know our ambition gets the best of us, and this is what we love to do and want to excel in, but just take a think about it and make sure it really fits you for the right reasons.
Yeah, I think you mentioned it earlier, that speaks so much to your integrity, because again, you go off, you do the gig, it's fun, I had another job, I got paid, this was really great. But your integrity boosted when you were like, this isn't the right thing. And you already have a great reputation in our industry, but like that just continued to that consistency we've also been talking about. Like, I know Brian's going to do the right thing in any situation. And like, to me, that, whether it's, let's just say it was the biggest gig in the world, but doing the right thing, and it's like, there will be more opportunities. And because I did this, more people are going to look at me as, this is a great person that I know I can trust, I can rely on. And again, so it's like, to your point, doing the right thing pays out in its own way. It might not feel immediate, it might not in the moment, like, but it does. And so I couldn't agree with you more. So I'm going to be mindful of your time. I got one more question for you. I technically have like 30 more, but I'm going to keep it to one more. Maybe we do this again sometime in the future. But we talked a lot about the success you've had, the experience you've had, but if you were to look back at everything you've done in your career, since playing in the church to, the BET Awards you just did, what do you think are the things that you're the most proud of, that you've been a part of?
I kind of categorize them. The only difference between the tours is the personality and the artist, right? Okay. So I think the things that I've been most proud of to be a part of has been, I know this is going to sound crazy, is things with my family and my wife. Like, my wife is a theater and arts director at her school, and her kids put on amazing productions like The Wiz, I can't even think, they do tons of those, right? Chicago, things like that, right? And the great thing about that is that the kids run everything. So they run the sound, they got the tech crew, the costumes, and all of that. So that's one thing I've been proud of to be a part of. I helped my wife to pre-record the kids, to help them do that. So I'm really proud of things that are people that are close to me, because work is work, and and that is work, right? But when I can take all of the skills that I've learned and help my mom with her aerobics class to put a mix together for her, and she's like, yo, my son made this killing mix. It's like, oh, yo, that's mom. Or my wife, she said, oh, my husband helped me, to pre-record this. And I taught her how to use Reason. So she's like a whiz at it now. Like those things, I'm still regular at heart, man. So the things I'm most proud of in my career is being able to get this knowledge and then bring it back to my loved ones, or forming BFM World and doing consultations with people to like really help them with their career. Like I'm proud of things work-wise, don't get me wrong, and there were some great highlighted moments, but what does all that mean if you really can't help someone, especially people that are close to you? So
I couldn't agree with that more. And what I will do, just to kind of throw that out there, is when this video goes live, I'll have bfmworld.com linked. I'll also have links to custom snare, custom ride. Again, that maple gum snare.
Thank you.
But we don't have time to talk about that. But even the ride too. I got an HHX Evolution behind me, but we'll get a BFM ride in here. Don't worry.
Yes.
But here's what I'll say to kind of, again, close it up. I won't hold you hostage. As someone who's trying to kind of follow a similar path that you've laid, I just have to say thank you, not just for today, but the last 5 years. Like, not only have you helped kind of shape the target I'm looking for, it's really hard for us drummers to find what does that mean for us, like, to your point, like, how do you go from just playing to building a true career out of this and knowing how to navigate, but also just in setting the standard for how to interact, how to pay it forward, how to have a reputation with integrity that nobody even questions whether or not you're the right fit. It's just a matter of, is this the right fit for you, almost at a certain point. And I think that you've helped kind of mold for me creating a brand for yourself through your personality, through your playing, and focusing on, again, those three things: professionalism, maturity, and grace. If you have those three things, you can pretty much excel at anything. And so I just have to tell you, it means the world to actually have a conversation. I know we talk all the time, but to be able to sit down and talk to you, it's been really great. And I think that the listeners, the watchers, because I do put these on Spotify too, I think they're gonna take a lot out of this. And I just wanna say thank you for investing an hour of your time and again, paying it forward. And I appreciate our friendship, so thank you.
Man, that means a lot, bro. Thank you so much. And I just gotta say, I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
No, seriously, because it has been 5 years, it's some change, and just the change I've seen in you as a player, as a businessman, your focus, your content, man. Like, I'm super proud of you, bro. And I check you out, and I'm like, look at this guy, man. He's a rock star. I love it. I like, and you should be proud of yourself for doing that, because I really am, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a lot of work. But like we said at the very top of this, you can get whatever dream you want to get. You just have to be willing to do the work. And one last thing really quick, I know we're right at time, but you said a word in there that I think is really crucial, which is discipline. Like, you're not always going to be motivated. You're sure as hell, not always going to want to go and play the drums or go do the work or whatever it is. But if you have the ability to kick discipline in, you can do whatever you want to do. And if you have support like that, which, by the way, I'm keeping it cool right now, but as soon as we hang up, I'm going to celebrate because that was awesome. Like, having the support of people like you and other people in our industry, but then also, you mentioned our spouses, our kids. My daughter will be 13 this year, and every time I show her my little YouTube subscriber count, she's like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. So it's all these things that just go, okay, just remember why we're doing it though. Like, we're passionate, we love the instrument, but what's going to make it a career is the discipline, the hard work, and paying it forward. So, I will say this, and I promise we're already a minute over. I'll try to be mindful, but I was talking to my wife about this today, and I was like, I'm so excited for this interview because, like I said, I consider you a friend, but again, you really have set the bar for me as far as, like, this is the kind of, not even just drummer, but the kind of musician, professional man that I want to be as I kind of step a little bit further into the industry and kind of come back to it. And to hear you say what you said, like, honestly just recharges my batteries and makes me go, okay, you still got this. You can do it. You know, keep going, keep pushing. So I really appreciate it.
Man, my pleasure. I mean every word, man. Super proud of you, bro. Happy for you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, like I said, I won't hold you hostage. So, Brian, thank you. Next steps, just so you're aware, though, I will link all of your stuff in this video, so anybody who watches it can find you, take advantage of the consultations, your website, pick up your gear, all of that fun stuff. This will also go on Spotify, so that way anybody who doesn't want to watch but wants to listen while they run or work out, they'll have the option to do it. And maybe we'll do a part 2 in the future, but for now, I just want to say thank you, and I really appreciate you.
Man, my pleasure. Anytime for you, bro. Let's do a part 2, 3, 5, 7. I don't care.
Awesome. Okay, well then we'll figure it out. But because like I said, I still have like 30 questions. But again, there's only so much time, but there's so much we can learn. So with that, thank you. Enjoy your event tonight with your wife that you totally remembered, and I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian. See ya.